We'd like to welcome everyone to our Bountiful City Council meeting tonight. Thank you for being here. We will start with a Pledge of Allegiance given by Brian Potts, our Bountiful Community Service Council Director.
Please repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Brian. We now will have an opening prayer from Matt Murray.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we are grateful for this opportunity we have to come together. We're grateful for our civil leaders, for those that also volunteer their time on the numerous committees we have. We are grateful for their sacrifice and ask that Thou would bless their families as they serve our community, that they'll be blessed. Grateful for the moisture that we've received over the winter, and ask as we move into the warmer months that we'll be able to avoid serious flooding and catastrophe, that our preparedness that we have as a city will benefit those that live along the creeks. Grateful for our Savior and for all that He has done for us. And we say these things in the name of Thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you so much, Matt, for that prayer. We will now move to the public comment time. If anyone would like to make any comments, now's the time. Please come up, and you have 2 minutes. State your name and address, please.
Hi, Richard Watson, Bountiful. Just real quick, I've lived in Bountiful for 37 years now, and so every year, spring cleanup has always been the first week of April. And over the years, sometimes I've struggled to get to that. And I don't know anybody who did one last week because we had 2 feet of snow. So my proposal is if we can change from the first week of April to the last week of April, I know it would help me, but I think it would help a lot of people. So thank you.
Scott Albertson, 1488 North, 350 West in Bountiful. Want to know what the heck is happening to our roads. The water everywhere that they made the joint last year is sinking. My mother-in-law fell in one of the potholes. My kids don't have sidewalks to ride on, and they're eating it on those potholes. They just paved them, but they're crapping out within 4 months. When is this going to be addressed? Second, along those same lines, our curb and gutter is a disaster. Who's paying for the mosquito abatement that the puddles of water continually, yearly, because I came 2 years ago before you were mayor and I voted for you. When is that going to be addressed? It said it was on the long-term plan, but I haven't heard anything, no announcements. So when's it going to be addressed? No sidewalks, crap ton of mosquitoes, roads failing that are hazards for my children and my mother-in-law who's 74. I'd like an answer.
I just want to clarify that.
They're 8 feet, they're 8 inches deep.
Thank you.
They're deep. They marked some of them, they core drilled some of them. Was there a water test not done? Are we ingesting this dirt that's creating the potholes? Is it damaging our appliances? Who's paying for all this stuff, let alone the damage to my car?
Thank you.
It's like driving up in the freaking mountains on rocky roads.
Thank you. We appreciate your comments, and I just want to clarify that now is not the time when we can give you an answer. We have to notice what we discuss in our meetings, and so it's a time for us to hear from you, but it's legally we can't discuss the issues that you bring before us. And so
I'll come next week or next time and following time until I get answers.
Well, we are happy. We have staff that can talk to you tonight about this specific issue that you're asking about. And so, or we can follow up with you. But I just wanted to, just for public information, we can't address specifically the issue, but we are glad that you're bringing the issue to us. So thank you. Really appreciate that. Any other comments tonight from the public?
Sorry, Gary Davis, 2814 South, 500 West, here in Bountiful. Don't have a complaint. I got to read a prepared speech here. Well, I don't got to, but I'm going to. This week, okay, for those who didn't know it, this is National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, dispatchers. This week is to express respect and honor to all the public safety dispatchers for their commitment, service, and sacrifice to the public whom has entrusted their safety to. The following comments are sort of plagiarized from Angela Beatty, who is the APCO International President, Association of Public Communicators Organization, I think is what APCO stands for. Second full week of April is set aside as a time to express our thanks and appreciation for public safety telecommunicators around the country. I am sure that the Mayor, City Council, Chief Beeler, and Chief Stone have already planned some recognition for these people, and I just wanted to add my thoughts and appreciation as a citizen. Most citizens don't think about the person on the other end of the 911 call, and sometimes we take for granted how rare it is to have someone who has the ability to focus on a number of diverse tasks while simultaneously asking questions and reassuring the distraught caller or delivering instructions to a person in need. It is easy to forget and underappreciate the skills and fortitude it takes to maintain one's composure while directing units to traumatic and tragic events, which often involve people and places in their own community. The individuals behind those consoles are the best. During these days and always, it is important to take the time to acknowledge the life-saving work of those wearing the headsets. So on behalf of myself and many of the citizens of Bountiful, North Salt Lake, Woods Cross, West Bountiful, Centerville, and Davis County, thank you. Thank you to each and every telecommunicator. Your work and contribution to our communities does not go unnoticed. Maybe unheralded at times, but not unnoticed. That's all I got.
Thank you, Gary. We'd love to hear from anyone else that would like to comment. Okay, thank you. We now will move to consider approval of minutes of previous meetings held March 14th.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. We will now move to council reports, and we'll start with you, Councilwoman Price-Hewish.
I have nothing to report tonight, Mayor.
Okay, thanks. Councilman Bell.
A couple things is, well, maybe first, I want to let everybody know that we had a concert last night, the Toast concert, and Richard Watson, who's organized and led our concert series, is here, and I'd like to recognize him and appreciate him for his years of service to Bountiful in that regard. And he reported that it was a near sellout crowd last night, and so that was wonderful. The other thing is, many of you know that we're going through our general plan update right now. And we have 3 opportunities for the public to come and participate in that. We'd love and we need your participation. We need your insights, what you love about Bountiful, what you want to keep Bountiful, what you think we need to have in Bountiful, all those wonderful things that you have to suggest. Now's the time to document that. So we have 3 evenings where that'll take place. The first is tomorrow, April 12th. That'll be here. And I want to say that's 6 o'clock. Is that right? 6 o'clock tomorrow. The next one is next week on Monday, the 17th, here at City Hall, also at 6 o'clock. And the third one will be focused on downtown, and it will be held downtown at the BDAC. And want to invite you all to come to that. That's Thursday, the 27th. It's a wonderful opportunity to guide the future of Bountiful. We don't do this very often, and so come and participate. Thank you. Bring your neighbors.
Thank you. Great reminder. Councilwoman Bradshaw.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a quick update. We've discussed in the past that the South Davis Rec District is continuing to have some dialogue with the school district about some type of ongoing contributions to help with the cost of the facility, particularly for the pools, in recognition of the fact that we host 4 of the area high schools, yet only 3 of the high schools are within our district boundaries. We've been invited to attend, not necessarily to participate, but attend a meeting of the Davis School Board next week. They've suggested that some board members ought to be in attendance in case they have questions, but that is kind of an ongoing action item to see if we can further those discussions and encourage some additional participation from the school district. Thank you.
Thanks for that update. Councilmember Higginson.
Nothing to report this evening, Mayor, but I'd like to know if more than 2 council members could attend that school board meeting, or if it would be limited to 2.
It's an open and public meeting. I believe it's a work session of the school board. So where it's an open meeting of a different government entity, unless our city attorney gives me a hairy eyeball, I think we are all welcome to attend. If it's much like our work sessions where there's not necessarily a public comment time, but if the board asked for comments or clarifications or questions, then people would be there to help answer.
As long as you don't all go smoke behind the gym after the school meeting, then I think you're fine.
Forget it. I'd like
Thank
to
you.
go. Thanks.
Any other news from you?
Just a thanks to everybody. We're only partway through this budget hearing week, but thanks to everybody it seems like everybody's making an effort to attend all of the meetings regardless of if they're on the committee. It's been awesome to see, and I appreciated seeing everybody at the meetings today. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilwoman Segura Bar.
Nothing this evening.
Okay. Thanks. Do we have a youth council report? Excellent. Oh, great.
Hi, my name is Olivia Springer, and I'm the city recorder for the Bountiful City Youth Council. For our report, we had some March and April activities, mainly just April. Last Saturday, we had our bunny hop that the Bountiful City Youth Council was in charge of planning. It was at the Bountiful Town Square, and we had 3,000 eggs. Last year, we had about 1,000 eggs that we hid, but this year we tripled it. And we had about the same amount of people attending, so it was a pretty good turnout, about 1,000. And then some of our members also had the opportunity to usher at the Toast concert at Woods Cross last night. We do have some upcoming activities. The big one is going to be the Stomp on Main on June 9th from 8:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. And we have security DJ for the event. It's for upcoming 9th graders and graduating seniors. So it's for pretty much all like the teenagers and youth in Bountiful. And it's free admission, but they do have to bring a student ID just to ensure that it's like for students and that kind of thing. And it will be on the same road as the Burnout. So applications for the next year of BCYC do close this Saturday. And currently we have 56 new applicants, and they can apply online. So we have that option for them. Do you guys have any questions?
That's a lot you guys have going on.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's
Yeah,
great.
for sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thanks for that report, and thanks to Chelsea for being such a great advisor for the Youth Council. We will now consider approval of expenditures greater than $1,000 and the February 2023 financial report.
I'm happy to make a motion to approve those as printed.
Second?
Second from Councilman Bell, and all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. We now get to hear from Miss Jamie Young. And so we are so grateful to have you here with us tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. It's an honor to be here. My name is Jamie Young. I am the president for the Utah Recreation and Park Association. And Scott McDonald, the aquatics director at the South Davis Recreation Center, is the past president. And so he was involved in the award selection process this year. The Utah Recreation and Park Association is celebrating our 72nd year of service to parks and recreation professionals in the state. And we represent over 1,700 parks and recreation professionals statewide. Our primary focus is educational opportunities and networking among others to share ideas and successes and hopefully avoid failures that have already been experienced. One of the great things that we do as an association is accept nominations for awards for people and facilities and departments statewide. And the past presidents of the association get together and select the winners. One of the great things is for us as presidents is that we get to come and present these awards to the city councils of the agencies. Some of the eligibility requirements for nominations are that the agency must be a member of the Utah Recreation and Park Association, that the facility met a community need, that there were some green construction materials and some innovative design elements included. Also some non-traditional funding sources, which I know this project specifically had multiple funding sources. That the facility creates an increased value in the community, and that it supports the mission of the profession. And I'm a Bountiful resident, and so I do commend you as a council, a mayor and council, that you guys have had the wisdom over the years to partner with a lot of agencies, including creating the South Davis Recreation District with neighboring cities to provide these amazing facilities for your community. In addition to being a recreation professional and living in Bountiful, I also have my children participating in sports. We utilize the recreation center. I coach the sports as well, and so we're highly involved in the facilities and programs that you offer here. So specifically, the facility that received the award was for the Bountiful Ice Ribbon. Again, a really great partnership between Bountiful City and the South Davis Recreation District that you should really be proud of. Again, something that it helped fulfill a need in the city, because I do know, because I use it, the ice sheet is in really high demand. And so this is something that took some of the demand from that for the recreational skaters as myself to allow for a little bit more space and for any people who do want to skate. I know there's a huge demand on ice for ice skating, hockey, just open skate and all those. So this ice ribbon has fulfilled that. Some of the great things that you've allowed the recreation district to run that is really smart. They already have the expertise to do that because they're running one. So without much further ado, I would like to, one other quick thing. You guys have an amazing recreation district staff. Many of them have been very highly involved with the Utah Recreation and Park Association, including Tiff, Scott, like I mentioned before, and Corey, as well as Kathleen and Haley at the Recreation Center have all been on the Utah Recreation and Park Association board. So we're honored to have them, and you should be very proud of them and their representation of Bountiful City and the Recreation District. So I would like to present a plaque to Bountiful City, to you, Mayor, for the Bountiful Ice Ribbon and the contribution that it makes to your city and the improvement of the community, and a great amenity for the residents of Bountiful City. So thank you. Thank you for your support of your recreation.
Thank you.
I'll just run around. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna try to get you in there.
Exactly.
Perfect, thank you.
Beyond the floating heads.
Thank you so much for being here to give that award to us. And I just want to acknowledge there's so much staff time and so much preparation and work. Specifically, Gary Hill, our city manager, and Lloyd Cheney, our engineer. There's hours and hours and really months of work and preparation that went into the work and collaboration. So, and the council with the decision to move ahead with that ice ribbon. So, thank you so much. We really appreciate this, and we're proud to receive it. Thank you. We will now consider approval of the appointment of Delane England to the Bountiful Community Service Council, and she was not able to be here tonight, but we have our Bountiful Community Service Council Chair here, Brian Potts, and he's here representing the organization. And I want to thank you, Brian. Brian leads the group, and it's a great group because they're diverse and they represent different organizations. We have someone there that represents Rotary, someone that represents the Lions, Emergency Service, Emergency Preparedness Council. Thank you, the Interfaith, yes. And Delane England, she does Freedom's Light, and so she'll be an addition there where she can help the group understand what she's doing with her group, and also she can contribute to the others with their events and just kind of be a liaison and know what's going on with each other, with the different groups in our city. So with that, do you have anything to add, Brian, about about Delane?
I think that she is quite a force. She loves the Constitution, goes into great personal expense to help educate the youth of our city by sponsoring the festival where they have reenactors talk about their individual stories in the forming of our country and of the Constitution. So I think that we are a great gathering place for volunteers and maybe a volunteer exchange where this group helps this group and this expertise helps them. She'll be a welcome addition, and we're looking forward to helping her and having her help us.
Thank you. Yes, that sounds great. And I'm sorry, I should have asked you to come to the mic just for the benefit of anyone listening online. Brian talked about how the groups will help each other and coordinate together, and how Delane's experience with Freedom's Light, how it's a event to help people learn about the Constitution and reenact those, George Washington and those historical figures. And so it's a benefit to our city for Constitution Day. So it'll be great to have her involvement in that board. So any other discussion about that? Okay, well, I'd like entertain a motion.
Mayor, I'm happy to propose that we accept the appointment of Delane England to the Bountiful Community Service Council.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. And now we will consider approval of accepting the proposal from Advanced Paving at the unit prices noted. Mr. Lloyd Cheney.
Thanks, Mayor. Every other year, the street department and the engineering department put together a package of overlay projects, and we put those out to bid. We combine projects from 2 fiscal years so that we can take advantage of some economies of scale, and that's what we've done again this year in this bid package. In your staff report, I highlighted and used a very big font for the number 9 because it was surprising that we got 9 responses. I think that's a really good indication of people were hungry and looking to schedule work this year. Pricing maybe wasn't quite what we had expected, but the engineer's estimate was sort of in the ballpark, but it's a little early in this year to nail down some of the asphalt prices, so I think that's part of the reason why our estimate was a little bit low. Of the 4 lowest bidders, I was just sitting here thinking that 3 of those 4 have worked for the city over the last 3 years. And I think it speaks highly that, they were all aiming to come back and work for Bountiful City again. We've had good luck with all of them. Advanced Paving is a familiar contractor to us. They've done several of our little reconstruction projects downtown, and we're excited to work with them again. We think that with this overlay project, we won't deal with some of the delay issues that we had on some of our reconstruction projects, and we'll be sure to focus and emphasize that fact with them. But it's our recommendation that the council award the contract to Advanced Paving at the unit prices in the bid tabulation.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we will now turn the time over to Mr. Greg Martin, our IT Director, to consider approval of the purchase of 40 desktop computers from NetWise.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. As you're aware, the IT department, one of our tasks is to maintain our computer systems throughout the city. We are working to create a rotation of our computers, about a 5-year cycle. As such, we try to purchase on an annual basis 40 to 50 computers per year. This year, we are looking to do 45 computers with NetWise at a cost of $55,161. And recommendation from the IT department is that we accept the quote from NetWise for that purchase.
Move that we approve the purchase of 45 desktop computers from NetWise.
Second?
Was there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
That motion passes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, and Mr. Alan Johnson, we'll turn the time over to you now for consider approval of the purchase of 78 power poles from Stella Jones.
Yes, Mayor and Council, it's great to be here tonight to look at this. As we do, we buy poles quite often, as timing of it is getting longer. We still use butt-treated poles because the vast majority of our poles are in backyards and we have to climb them, and versus out on the street where you can use mechanical equipments to get up there. So at this point, there is only one company that is able to supply butt-treated poles. So this becomes a single source item, and it's the only one that we can get. We did take this to the Power Commission this morning. They do have a long enough lead time that this is taken into consideration what we expect to be doing during the summer construction months and have an inventory as we start moving into our winter months and our traditional windstorms, so we keep a supply up. So it would be the staff and Power Commission's recommendation that we approve the quote from Stella Poles for 78 poles for $98,982. And like I said, these will be placed into inventory till we use them, and they are a budgeted item.
I have a question. Sorry, were you going to make a motion?
I was, but I will defer.
I just wanted to ask a quick question of our power director. So Stella Jones is the only source?
Yeah, there's only really like 3 suppliers, but this is the only one that will butt treat. It's a function that takes more labor because they have to get a mechanical machine and dip it in the bit to butt treat it. What they do with the rest of them is they throw it in a vat and then just totally covers it. And what ends up happening when you have a fully treated pole, when the sun hits them, they become extremely hard. So when the lineman has to climb it and the hook has to go into the pole, it can't go in there, and it becomes more dangerous to climb. For poles that are out on the street where we can take a bucket lift and get to it, it's a great option. But in the backyard, when they become basically hard like concrete after the sun gets on them. But it is the only company that still does provide butt-treated poles.
Thanks for that explanation. Go ahead, council member.
Oh, I'm happy to make a motion to approve the purchase of the 78 power poles from Stella Jones.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and you have the next item as well.
It is springtime, and so we typically go out and we look out for distribution or problems on our system that we have that we know about, as well as streetlight wires that have failed or been having trouble. At this point, we have gone out to our typical bid, and we've got a distribution project for a feeder upgrade that'll be on 1800 South that will give us some additional reliability and capacity in our substation so we can continue to do maintenance. We also have a couple of streetlight jobs for wires that have failed and are not working. So we've gone out to bid, and we did receive a number of bids, and it was interesting this year to how close they were. But it would be the Power Commission staff's recommendation that we accept the low bid. But I do want to point out that we let our fingers do the walking on our staff report, that the low bid was actually $209,935 versus the $209,345. So there was almost just only $1,000 difference between the low bid and the next bid. So they're still low, but I just wanted to point out the number inadvertently got past us with the wrong number in the report. We have worked with all these companies and have been happy with every one of them. So it would be the Power Commission staff's recommendation that we accept the low bid from American Technologies for $209,935.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Excellent.
All right, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
And thanks for putting up with me twice today. So,
You've been working hard. Thank you. Okay, we will now turn the time over to Ms. Amber Corbridge to consider approval of a Class 2 an alcohol license for Robintino's.
Okay, thank you. So Tally Bruce is the owner of Robintino's Restaurant, and she's applying for an alcohol license located at 1385 South 500 West. There is an update or change in the report. It's not a Class D license that she's applying for. She clarified that it's actually the liquor license, so full bar, which is the correct license for what she's wanting to do. The report indicated that it was going to be a Class D beer, but she's wanting to do the liquor license, which is to sell liquor in the state. And then what with that is issuance of this license by the city for liquor package agencies, restaurants, special uses, public service, and single events is intended to constitute the written consent of the local authority that is required by state law. None of the criteria will change. It's all the same criteria that is reviewed in this report. We're just classifying it as the liquor license. And so furthermore, this license would be separate from Robintino's restaurant license. There are two separate licenses at this address. And it will operate as a full bar located in the restaurant in a separate private area designated for that. Which will be regulated by all the state laws. Additionally, I wanted to point out that in the zoning or land use code, it is required to, in order for a bar to operate in the zone that this restaurant is in, it's required to have a conditional use permit and go through an architectural site plan approval. So as a condition of this approval of the license, they will need to meet the following: conditional use permit approval for the proposed bar and an architectural site plan approval for the proposed bar.
Amber, I have a question, or
Yes.
Mayor, if that's all right. Given that liquor licenses are a little bit limited in our state and harder to come by, is the restaurant owner able to comply with those if they're actually able to receive a bar license, or do they need to do them now? I'm imagining there's some cost associated, and the wait in line for a full bar license might take some amount of time. And I just am curious if we have that latitude to allow them to complete the conditional use and architectural
Right.
site plan process
Right.
when she knows she may actually receive a license from DABS.
So she has an existing full bar license in Salt Lake City, which she is hoping to move to Bountiful. That way she doesn't lose that license, and the deadline for that is like today, but they've extended it a day because she needed to make it to this meeting tonight.
So she's one of those luckies that is
Yeah.
not standing in line for one of the limited bar
She
licenses.
has one, she wants to keep it, and she needed the consent of this council in order to keep it, so.
Okay, so in that case, my question changes a little bit. So has the, those other two conditions already been met, or will?
No, those are conditions of this approval, so those still need to be met in order for her to have the actual bar at this location.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
What other questions do you have, council?
So that, if I may, that approval, our approval tonight will allow that to remain in limbo and in her possession until such time as.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
She has currently applied for both the conditional use permit and site plan review. They're in review right now, so she's working towards getting approval for those two.
Can I ask one follow-up? Is that review only with the staff level, or does that go to planning commission also?
So the conditional use permit will go to planning commission for approval, and then the site plan will come back to you for final approval. So you will see the site plan review later.
I'm happy
I would
to,
like to make a motion that we approve the alcohol license for Robin Tino's pending the approval of the conditional use permit and architectural site plan approval.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. Thank you. Okay, we will now consider adoption of Resolution 2023-05, which facilitates reimbursement from bond proceeds for advance payments made in connection with the fiber optic project. Mr. Galen Rasmussen.
Mayor, members of the council, tonight I'm bringing before you a resolution for consideration. This is a follow-up item from our last meeting, which was March 14th, but it's on the trailing edge of other meetings we've had about the fiber optic project. In order to move the project forward when it's decided to do so, there'll be a time before we receive bond funds that we'll need to make expenditures. And in order to be reimbursed for those expenditures from the bond fund, it'll require a resolution be adopted for that purpose. The amount of the bond right now is not known, but it's going to be between $45 and $50 million. And so by adopting this resolution, it allows, when the time comes, to be reimbursed for our expenditures. And the likely source of that would be our capital improvement funds, which has a $8.9 million balance in it currently that could be utilized. It's important to note in the staff report, it's underlined for emphasis, that adopting this resolution does not commit the city to issuing bonds or spending funds toward the project. It simply ensures that if and when the project costs are expended, they may be reimbursed with the bond proceeds. So with that in mind, we've received this resolution, which we've prepared for your consideration of adoption, that is from Lewis Young, our financial advisor, as well as Gilmore Bell, that's a bond attorney. So I'd be glad to answer any questions you have.
What questions do we have?
I don't have a
Mayor,
oh, sorry. Go
I
ahead.
have a question about this, and I appreciate that you mentioned that it's not compelling us toward any course of action at this point, but it is providing that funds would be reimbursed. But I did have a question, and maybe this is for our city attorney. If we were to choose at a future date that we proceed with the bond, and would it need to be specified in this resolution that we would, the terms of repayment, like if we have to, or just even saying the terms of repayment could be determined at a separate time, whether that includes interest or not interest to the city? I'm just curious if we need to have that level of specificity.
You certainly could do that. I don't think we need to. This is a form that our advisors have used many times for bonds throughout the state, and it's held up to muster. So we're relying on them, and we really just took this and took their suggested resolution and adapted it to our situation with the specifics. But the majority of this resolution has been adopted many times throughout the state without issue.
So do you feel like it's fair to say that, that the terms of repayment could still be negotiated at, I mean, as long as repayment is made at a future date?
Yes.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Question for Councilmember Price-Hewish, if I could, Mayor. So are you wanting the city out of bond funds to pay itself interest on the monies that the city has spent that we're going to reimburse ourselves for? Help me understand.
Sorry, my understanding of this is that we would, it's allowing us to use funds from the Capital Projects Fund. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I understand that it's saying it would allow us to use funds from the Capital Projects Fund and reimburse ourselves at a future date with bond funds. And I just think we haven't made a determination yet as a council, A, what kind of bond we are going to approve, B, if we're going to approve a bond, and then C, what the terms of reimbursement to the city on those capital projects funds would be. Would they be repaid with interest or not? And so I just want to make sure that that is something, that door remains open, and that we have counsel from our city attorney that door remains open with so many unanswered questions and stages. And clearly that's something that we haven't even really deliberated yet as a council.
Well, I must have misunderstood. I thought this was just authorizing us that when the bonds are issued, we can pay ourselves back for the costs of the feasibility study and for the costs of anything else that has gone into leading up to the issuance of bonds for the project. Does this also have to do with paying ourselves back for any monies that come up in the future?
This would apply to any expenditures that we make from the passage of this resolution, and that we could, related to the project, that we could use bond proceeds to pay ourselves back for. So it could relate to if, for example, we used capital projects funds to pay the first couple of years before we generate system revenues. It could relate to any other kind of outlay that we make.
Thank you.
To be clear, in quoting from the resolution itself, anything that is involved with acquisition, construction, installation, or equipping of the system.
Thanks.
What other questions do you have about this?
If there are no other questions, Mayor, I'm happy to make a motion to adopt Resolution 2023-05.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. That motion passes, and now I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So,
Good churn.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.